sure you get really rowdy for him, because he likes to come out to that. In the meantime, we're really glad you guys are out here. Mr. Trump will be out momentarily.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. So nice. So amazing. So amazing. It is so great to be with you tonight. And this was a little tough weather. So a couple of hours ago, they said, Mr. Trump, I think we're going to... What? That's okay. I love you more, okay? Like I say to my son, Barron, I love you. He goes, I love you more, Dad. So anyway, I love you. I do love you. The spirit in these rooms, the spirit no matter where we go is so incredible. And a couple of hours ago, they were saying, I'm sorry, sir, you're going to have to cancel your trip. Can you imagine? They said it's going to be too tough, and too tough. The flying's dangerous. It's not exactly nice outside, right? I said, I can't do that. No, I can't do that. I can't do it. So we got here. It was close. It was marginal, I have to tell you, but we got here. So, as you probably heard, in California, they're having a tremendous problem right now. 2 are killed as of now, and I guess there's one that's on the loose, or they're having a fight. This is when we appreciate our great police and our law enforcement. Remember that. They don't get enough credit. They should get it. And you're always going to have some bad apples. You see it on television, no matter what business we're in, if you're in the banking or anything else. But I want to tell you, they do one hell of a job. And when you see these shootouts, I can tell you one thing. I don't want to do it. You don't want to do it. So we want to thank the police and law enforcement. They're unbelievable people. And with that being said, I think, could we have a moment of silence? A lot of people killed. And in honor of those people and the victims generally, let's have a moment of silence, please. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So we have some really special people here, the most powerful people there are. Black pastors, you've been hearing a lot about it. And we had some incredible times over the last few days, and we've had great support. It wasn't covered properly by the press. Never does cover. I mean, they are so dishonest. But you probably read where a large, I don't even know the number, but a large group of black pastors came to see me in New York, in Manhattan. And it was really great. And one of them was Dr. and Pastor Steve Parson. And Steve put together a group of endorsers, all endorsers. And I said, well, you're endorsing me. I'm bringing you up for a couple of seconds. I'm going to say, I don't know if these people want to be preached to tonight. We want to hear about other things. Because Steve, can take over the whole night and I'll just leave. That's okay too. But he's a great guy. He was in New York with the others. And I saw him. He's been all over television over the last couple of days. And he is a beautiful guy. So Steve, come on up with your friends. Come on up.
I'm not going to take too long, but I will say this. We're a group of black ministers, as you said, and then we have one token brother over there, right? Okay, but I will say this, that people ask me, well, why are you endorsing Donald Trump? Well, my opinion, he's the best and the only one that can beat Hillary Clinton. That's right. Okay? I mean, listen, we got to win. And one thing about Donald Trump is he's a winner. Amen? Oh, and here's another thing, too. He knows how to create wealth. Can I get an amen? And as a black minister, I'll just tell you this. We're right in the inner city. And I tell you, we need jobs. We need employment. We need businesses. And I tell you, who better can help us help ourselves than Donald Trump? You see? So I just tell you this, that I'm glad. I personally believe that this is a movement. It's a movement. And I believe that we're in a situation now where this country called America is going to come back and be made great again. Isn't that right? In fact, I believe it's a wealth transfer, a wealth movement. Okay? And then I'll tell you one thing. Mr. Trump is going to make this military strong again, too. Well, why is that? Why is this? I'm not going to take too much time. I'll tell you this. Donald Trump just doesn't take anybody's mess.
Thank you. Thank you, fellas. They've got big power. They have the ultimate power, right? So go and enjoy yourselves. Can you please get them a good location? It's pretty tight in here. Thank you. Thank you, fellas. Thank you. So nice. So nice. Do a fantastic job. I've seen what they do, and man, they do a job. Nothing easy in life, you know, nothing easy. Sometimes that can be tough. You work in the inner cities, it can be pretty tough. It can be pretty tough. It can also be rewarding, and they get great rewards. Thank you very much, and thank you, Steve. So, we've got a lot going on in this country. And I don't know if you saw, I tweeted, I'm on my way to Manassas, I'm on my way, and here I go. And first I said, we're going to Virginia, then we'll come. The truth is, you look at what's happening with our country. And I said, you know, we're going to have fun considering we don't have good subject matter, right? We have really bad subject matter. We don't win anymore. We don't win. We never win. We don't win with the military. We don't win with trade. We don't win with deals, any kind of deals. I look at that Iran deal. It's one of the worst things I've ever seen. No, think of it. Think of it. They've already violated the deal. You know, I don't know if have you heard? They've already violated the deal. The ink isn't even dry. Okay? It's not even dry, and they violated the deal. So we don't do it anymore. You look at surprises, right? She says surprise. The wise guy over here. She says, surprise. You're right. Who said that? Stick up your hand. I want to. Good. Very good. Very good. So, we're going to start winning, and big. We're going to win. We're going to win. We're going to win. A lot. We're going to win a lot. We're going to win all the time. We're going to get rid of Obamacare, which is a disaster. We'll get rid of it. Disaster. And we're going to replace it with something great. There's so many alternatives. There's so much better. I don't know, for those people involved with the whole Obamacare thing, and the Democrats have real problems over it because, you know, they voted and it was a fraudulent vote, let's face it, because Obama lied. And in all fairness to your senators and your congressmen who happen to be Democrats, Obama lied. 28 times he said, keep your doctor, keep your plan, keep your everything. Everything's great. It's going to be. And then these guys got stuck with it, and now they have to defend it. And they're not going to be able to defend it. And we're going to go into it big league, but we're going to have a plan that's so much better, so much cheaper. You look at what's happening with deductibles on Obamacare, it's out of control. You can't use it. If you get hit by a tractor, maybe you'll get a couple of bucks. The premiums have gone up 35, 45, and 55%. And just the other day, in a lot of the very good newspapers, frankly, and even in the bad ones, and there are plenty of bad ones, these guys are so dishonest. Such dishonesty with the mainstream media, I will tell you, such total dishonesty. But if you look at over the last few days, you're seeing a lot of stories that Obamacare is collapsing of its own weight. And in 2017, unfortunately, you know, if it's going to go, let it go now so that he has to straighten it out, but he's not going to straighten it out correctly because nothing he does is correct. No, nothing he does, if you think about it. Here's a guy, we've got ISIS and others that want to destroy us, and he's more worried about global warming. And he believes, think of this. And he believes global, it comes out all the time, that our biggest problem is global warming. And I say, is this real? Are we living in the world? You have people out there want to blow up our cities, want to kill all of our people. They're cutting off heads like it's no tomorrow in the Middle East and far worse. I mean, they're doing everything. They're drowning people in cages. We haven't seen anything like this since medieval times. You know, in medieval times, I'd read they chopped off heads. I never said, did anyone see chopping off heads until, you know, you just start seeing it over the last couple of years. And it's true, isn't it, though? It's true. Who ever heard of this? This is a vicious group of animals, and we've got to stop them, and we're going to stop them so strong and so fast. So strong and so fast. Now, one of the things I want to tell you is, because a lot of you have heard me speak and you've seen it, you know, they're always covered on live television. They get ratings. I speak, they get ratings, okay? They make a fortune off me, and I can't stand them. And they can't stand me. They're always lying and not telling the truth. But they always put me on live television. Nobody else goes on the live television. These other guys running for office, first of all, they don't have crowds like this, believe me. They have, I mean, Bush goes, he has like 59 people. It's true. He stands up, he starts speaking, everybody falls asleep. We could make a lot of money with him. We call him Sleep Master. Put people to sleep. And the other ones, if they have 100 people, it's a lot. Every place I go, we have thousands and thousands. This was only restricted by the size of the room, and we have thousands. It's packed. And the fire marshal, I love. Where's the fire marshal? He was so good, because otherwise we're going to have a lot of people standing outside. They're still coming in the back. You're right, man. So, but great people here, great people. But we are going to do something that's so special because, you know, it was just mentioned. They just said, movement? What do you think? Do you think this is a movement? This is a movement. I mean, Pastor Steve said it's a movement. I never told him that. He might have listened because I use the expression sometimes. But this is a movement. I go to Dallas where the Mavericks play. And, oh, you guys like the Mavericks? That's good. It's good players. And the owner, Mark Cuban, has been great. He's been great to us. You know, I'll have to tell you. And he said, you want to use it, use it. And it was like on a Thursday. I said, when? He said, Monday. I said, how many seats do you have? Like 20,000. We filled it up in a day and a half. We had time left over. We had 20,000 in Dallas. We had 20,000 in Oklahoma. We had 35,000 people in Mobile, Alabama. And everywhere we go. And I mean, literally, we go up to New Hampshire. We have crowds that are many, many, many times the size of anyone else. Nobody has even close. Thank you, man. Look at that guy. Thank you, man. That's cool. And I like your hat. Hold that hat up. Do we like that hat? Look at that. Look at that. And he looks better with that sort of okay head of hair. I wouldn't say I wouldn't say the greatest I've ever seen, but it's acceptable. Hey, hasn't hurt him any. It's really great. Thank you very much. No, it's just an honor to be here. But we're going to be so proud. So I started this whole thing, as you know, in June. And it takes courage to run for president. It does. It takes courage. Especially, I've never done this before. And I'm self-funding my own campaign. All these other guys, they're like bloodsuckers. No, it's like bloodsuckers. These PACs are a disgrace. They totally control the candidate. No, they're a disgrace. And I could have had a PAC. You know, Bush raised $125 million, and he's dying. He's dying in the polls. Rubio, all of them. I won't say a couple of them because so far a couple of them I like, but that'll end because they all have to go through me. You know, they all have. No, it has to end. No, it has to. No, Cruz, you know, as an example, Cruz has been great to me. He's been really nice no matter what. He agrees, you know, everything's good. But at some point he's going to have to say, I got to attack him because otherwise I'm going to come in second place or third place or something. So they've all got to attack. And I love it when they attack, because so far everyone that's attacked me has gone bingo, right? True. They've gone down. They've gone down big league. I shouldn't say this in front of the pastors because they'll say, that's not nice. Is it okay? It's okay, right? They like winning. I mean, it's all about winning. It's really about making America great again. That's what it's really about. So today I read a big article that everyone's afraid to fight me because, hey, look, you look at Perry, very nice man from Texas, right? Governor Perry. And he was so nice to me. Then all of a sudden, one day, I said, he couldn't have said that. He was vicious and violent. Went to Washington, made a speech. The whole speech was about me for like a half an hour. And I had to attack him. And I attacked him very viciously. And I feel guilty. Not really. No, I did. I attacked him, remember, on the glasses? And I attacked him on the IQ, okay? And then you have a guy like Lindsey Graham. Here's a sitting senator. And you go to South Carolina. And by the way, his plan, I know so much more than he does. His plan is so bad, it's so stupid. It's so stupid. Remember that in The America We Deserve, I wrote that book in 2000. I wrote about Osama bin Laden. We got to take him out. You got to know where to use your power. And I said, and I don't know how many people saw it, but a couple of the announcers in the morning, they said, wait a minute, that book, what was it written in 2000? So I had Osama bin Laden, and the reason is, I watch and I listen, and there's this guy with a big mouth who is very tall, and I said, wait a minute, let me ask you. Oh, I hear some friends. I hear some friends. They don't want to make America great again. I swear, I don't think they do. We want to be a unifier, and we have to be a unifier. We have to be. And the funny thing is, I do a great job with things, and they will be a big beneficiary, but maybe they just don't understand it yet. Okay? Maybe they don't understand it yet. But maybe the police could move them away so we can all hear ourselves, George. Get them out. We have to. No, we have to. Yeah, we have to do that. It's not fair to the people. Thank you. Thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You know the sad thing, there's like a very small group of people out there, although they are pretty noisy, I will say. But I'll listen to them. Yeah, will the police remove them very nicely, very gently, please? I'll tell you what happens. So sometimes I'll say, I want him out now. And then they say, he was terrible. He was so nasty, so rough. So then I go, please be gentle, please. And then they say, he's too soft to be break. You can't win. You can't win. So I'll go middle stream. Yeah, if you could remove them as soon as possible, that would be great. Are the police out there? I think after the build-up I gave them, I think they're going to do a great job. Yeah, we have to move them. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Look at it. The people are pouring in through them. They're coming in. And the saddest part? You have a few people there. You have thousands of people here. And the media, the headlines tomorrow will be, protesters, right? Protesters. You know what we have, and I say it, and I say it strongly. I used to use the term silent majority, and the term's been used over the years, and it really is people that have been abused, and we have a majority, but we don't know we have a majority. But it's not a silent majority. It's really become a noisy majority. It really is. It's the noisy majority, and that's okay. That's okay. Because that's what we have to be. We have to be heard now, folks, because our country's going to hell. We have a president who's incompetent. He's incompetent. I'll tell you what, this guy is grossly incompetent. When I watch him taking all of this time, and you know what? I want clean air. I want clean water. I want it to be immaculate. I want it to be sparkling. I want it to be great. I've won so many environmental awards over the years. I'm good. I'm really a great developer. Now I'm a politician. But I'm a great developer, and I've won so many environmental awards, and I'm proud of them. I think it's a great thing. But it's gotten out of control. And this whole global warming thing, they changed it. Global warming, climate change, extreme weather. The reason is it's never sort of working. Now, the extreme weather one's that's really got to work, right? You see, I remember during the winter, we had sort of a bad storm. And they said, oh, wow, this is global warming, and it's unbelievable. And the snow was all over the place. And they said, we haven't had a snow. Now, this was the third. The number one snowstorm was in 1889, which blew everything out the window. Look, we're going to have, like this. It goes like this. And we want clean air, and we want clean water, and other things. But it's gotten to a point, people are making a fortune off this stuff, and our businesses are being hurt. Our manufacturers can't compete. China's over there right now laughing like hell at Barack Obama because we're stopping our plants from functioning and make it so expensive and not any better pollution-wise. So we're stopping our plants. We're doing all of this damage. China's agreeing to do things in many years from now, and they'll violate the agreement 100% because they always do, just like Iran does, just like everybody does. We're like the dummies. We're like just the dummies. I feel we used to be so proud. Now we feel so stupid. We're led by stupid people, and we can't have it anymore. We can't have it anymore. It's unbelievable. And by the way, what I'm going to do is we're going to take some questions in a little while. It was brutal to get here today. I might as well stick around for a while. So what we're going to do, you can start thinking about it because in another few minutes, we're going to talk a little bit about what we have in plan. And I want to take some questions because I love it. I love taking questions. Even if they're vicious, horrible, violent questions, we'll take them anyway. Okay? One thing, with Hillary, she doesn't have the strength or the stamina to be president. She doesn't have it. And I know her. I get along. You have to understand, I've gotten along over the years with everybody. I was a businessman. One of the magazines said I'm a world-class businessman. Great. I am. I'm a great businessman. I've made a fortune, and I want to put that same thinking for the country. We owe $19 trillion. It's going to be $21 trillion very soon. You see this ridiculous budget that was just passed, like they passed it immediately. Nobody fights. I always say, I know where the Democrats are coming from, but the Republicans, in a way, are more disappointing because they go, you elect them, and you know what happens. And look, you had in Virginia one of the greatest upsets of all time, and he deserved to be upset. By the way, you know who he's backing? Bush. That was the end of Bush. Can you believe that? But it was one of the greatest upsets. I think it never happened before. And you were so smart. You were so smart. But what happens is they say, we are going to end Obamacare. We are going to make our military strong. We're going to take our vets and we're going to make our vets so happy. Everything's going to be great. Blah, blah, blah. All words. It's all talk, no action politicians, right? And you love them and you're all for them. And they win their election and they go to Washington. I always say it. And they're with their wife or they're with their husband. And they say, look, Mary, we've finally made it. Look at the beautiful columns. Look at this. This is like, they go into the Capitol building. They say, oh, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. Now they have a vote on Obamacare. Oh, I vote in favor of it. I don't want to leave this place. This is beautiful. Don't they let us down? No, I promise you one thing. If I win, you'll say, win, watch. Where, what? That always happens. But I have to start up. Look, I am against 15 guys. It was 17. It was 17, now it's 15, and it's drying up fast. You have guys with 0, and they continue to go along. Tell me, can that be good for them? You have guys like Pataki. He can't get elected dog catcher. You have guys, honestly, you have guys that can't even, if you think about it, they can't get 1%, they can't get anything. They actually had one of them down with a 0 and an arrow pointing left, meaning less than 0. It was on television. Now, I think that's a typographical error of some kind, because how do you get less than 0? But it's like, that's what it is. And some of them didn't even register in upcoming states. And now they've missed their times, right? They've missed their times. And I was told they've missed their times. Well, if a guy doesn't want to put up money because he knows he's not going to win, or he can't get enough signatures to register in a Virginia or a South Carolina or a New Hampshire or wherever it may be, but numbers of them haven't registered, why do we allow them to debate? If somebody gives up the state of Virginia Or if somebody gives up the state of South Carolina because, they're pretty hard to get on the ballot. They are. By the way, I'm already on the ballot. I had so many. Thank you. I know, they're just saying we helped you. No, we had so many, you know what we did? We took many times the number of signatures. We needed a lot. And we did it so quickly. Who did it? You did it right here. Stand up and take a bow. But you know what? And it's true. Thank you, honey. A really great job. I know that. If somebody doesn't get on the ballot, and they can't get on the ballot because they missed their time limit, so that means they gave up, a major state someplace. Why would you let them on the debate stage to waste everybody's time? And they're already at 0 or 1 or 2. Why would you allow them to be on the debate stage? It's not unfair. It's just stupid. It's like, what are we doing? And you don't have time to talk. Mr. Trump, the war in the Middle East, in 30 seconds, sir, what would you do? 30 seconds. And it's funny, on the debates, and I don't know if you've seen this, but I think almost or just about every single poll where they do the online polls after the debate, Drudge, who's an amazing guy, by the way, if you haven't met Drudge, we love Drudge. He's an amazing guy. But Drudge, Time Magazine, Slate, every one of these groups, they're doing these online polls. There are like 6 or 7 every debate. I've won every single poll in every single debate. And I'm really happy about it. Now, I'll tell you because it's become a big story. So the other day I said, I don't want to brag. Am I okay to brag? Is that all right? So I will. So let's say they would have had a couple of million people watching the first debate, right? And it used to be that these debates, nobody even wanted them. The television network, I think they forced them down their throat. You have to take the debate or we're taking your license away or something, right? So the first debate was by Fox, and they had 24 million people, actually more than that after the final numbers, but 24 million people, which was about the largest in the history of cable television, right? The next one was CNN, where they had 23 million people. Now think of this. CNN's covered some pretty big events like wars and other things, right? In the history of CNN, it was the highest rated show they've ever had. And they made it 3 hours, which they shouldn't have done. Because it was too long. Not for me. I could stand up. I could do this for 20 hours straight. It wouldn't matter. But nobody wants to watch this stuff for 3 hours, especially when 90% of the people know they're doing it. I don't even know why they're doing it, but nobody wants it. So that was unfair. And then when we went to CNBC, where that guy John Harwood, what an idiot he was. No, right? No, how bad. He's not even a professional. And I have to tell you, for 4 weeks before that, he was so nice to me. Oh, Mr. Trump, oh, you're so wonderful. Mr. Trump, you're great. And then he comes out with a question. He reads it, Mr. Trump. And, he reads a wise guy question. I said, that's not a very nice question to start off the day. But they wanted 3 hours because advertising sells for so much now that they make a fortune. And I said, I'm not going to let them have 3 hours. I'm not going to let them have it. And everyone said, these same people, they said, oh, you'll never be able to stop them. And I said, yes, I will. I stopped him. I think it took me, what do you think, Corey, about 3 minutes? No, I said, I'm not going. And I have to tell you, Carson said he'll go along with it. So that was very nice, Ben Carson. And he said, I have to give credit where credit is due. Because I've been a little bit rough on him. But I have to give credit where he came along and he said I would go along. And just so we went in, and I said, the two of us, we're not doing it. And they folded like an umbrella. It took 2 minutes. So now my big thing is they all say, you can't get Mexico to pay for the wall. Try it. Try it. We're going to build a wall. Try it. We're going to build a wall. It's going to be a great wall. It's not going to be a little toy. We'll build it not for a lot of money. In China, they built the Great Wall of China 2,000 years ago. It's 13,000 miles long, okay? This is serious walls, all right? In our case, we need really 1,000 miles. It's 2,000 miles, but some is natural borders, natural barriers, which are pretty good. Not as good as the wall, but you know what? Let's use it, right? So we're going to need about 1,000 miles. And think of it. So we're at 1,000 miles. China's at 13,000. Theirs was 2,000 years ago. They didn't have trucks. They didn't have tractors. They did it the old-fashioned way, right? And they got it done, and it is a big wall. So what we have is we're going to build a wall, and we're going to stop people from coming into our country illegally. Okay? We're going to stop it. It's time. It's time. And if people want to come in legally, we want them to come in. They have to go through the process. And if people want them to come in now, when I first mentioned this, all of the other candidates, again, we started with 17, now we're down to 15, but they're going to start falling like flies. You watch. I mean, it's got to be at some point they got to leave, right? Don't they have to leave? I mean, don't they sort of have to leave? We got this one guy. He's terrible. He's the worst debater I've ever seen. Kasich from Ohio. No. The guy is the worst debater. He's a professional politician. He can't speak properly. He's terrible. He's terrible. We have, again, I told you, Lindsey Graham. So they do a poll, and I mean, I'm like killing him in South Carolina. How do you beat the senator in Florida? So in Florida, you have two. You have a governor, and you have a sitting senator who, by the way, doesn't vote. He doesn't vote. How would you like to be in Florida, and you invest in a young guy? You invest in him. You take him to heart, and you put him, and he's United States Senator. I mean, to me, that's a great position, right? United States Senator for Florida. He's in there for about 12 seconds, and he decides he wants to run for president. Why? But how would you like to have a guy who doesn't show up to vote? Now, you've put in a lot of time and effort on making your choice. But if a man says he's going to be your senator, and then he goes around campaigning and fundraising. He was the other day, Homeland Security, very important meeting in Washington. He chose to go to a fundraiser in California. Now, I don't know that I'm going to win Florida, but I am killing them in Florida. Killing them. And I think I have the ultimate soundbite. I mean, seriously, if a guy, first of all, Rubio is very, very weak on illegal immigration, and he's in favor of amnesty, so you can't win. Bush, just to put an end to that, because I don't want to mention him, he's a very nice person, low energy, but very nice. We don't need low energy people, folks. We don't need it. We can't afford them. Hillary. You ever see Hillary? Hillary, and I said, she doesn't have the strength, she doesn't have the stamina, but did you ever see Hillary? She'll do an event like this and then won't show up like for 5. You know what she does? She goes home and sleeps. She'll do an event like this, and it's actually not, we shouldn't be laughing, we should be crying. Because she's by far the front runner. I mean, this other guy is a joke. He gave it up when he said no emails. Bernie, he gave it up. I think he just had a hernia operation, you know? He was carrying around the tax code that he wants to make larger. It's true. I actually just made that up, but it's true. No, he just had a hernia operation, and so I hope he gets better fast. But he's got no chance. He took Hillary, and he gave her the election. He was doing fine. And he was getting the second largest crowds. By the way, my crowds blow everyone away. You know what's sad? I was in Sarasota the other day, Florida, and what a great place. And we had a time, you wouldn't believe it, it was 12 o'clock, football games, everything going on. We had 12,000 people. And I don't ever say how many people. I let the government say it now. Because we have amazing Secret Service people, we have amazing people that work here. I let them say it, because every time I say it, if I'm off by 3 people, they make put headlines. And we had 12,000 people. Nobody says that. Nobody covers that. But when Bernie Sanders would have a group of 5,000, 5,000 people, so I get much bigger things than he does. Now, in the meantime, his are going down the tubes. We don't have to talk about how much anymore. But the truth is, Hillary shouldn't be allowed to run, because what she did is illegal. What she did is illegal. I want her to run. And by the way, the Fox poll just came out. I beat her easily in the Fox poll 101. You know, I can't believe it. I had this whole thing, and I never mentioned polls tonight. Can you believe that, though? I'm so sad. Usually I start off by saying, and then everybody says, including the press and my opponents, he always talks about polls. You know why? Because I'm winning all of them. It's true. If I were them, honestly, if you think about it, one of the major mainstreams asked me not so long ago, they said, why do you always talk about polls? And I never thought of the question. And I said, I don't know, because I'm winning. I'm winning every poll. It's good to talk about them. I don't know who the hell knows what they mean. I think they mean something, right? It is sort of strange. You know, they interview 392 people and they say with certainty that you're plus or minus 3, and it's sort of an amazing thing. I studied it at Wharton. I guess it works because, you know, frankly, there's something going on. But then when you have many, many, many of them, and I'm number one in every single one, and number one in every single state, and number one, I mean, you look, Iowa, number one, New Hampshire, number one, South Carolina, and big margin. They got to really work hard to catch me in New Hampshire, let me tell you. Those people and the people in Iowa, these are great people. And then you go down, South Carolina, tremendous. And then we go to Nevada, tremendous. And in Nevada, I win the Hispanic vote, okay? They do. And I've always said I'm going to win the Hispanic. Because I'm going to bring jobs back. I'm bringing jobs back. I'm bringing them back from China, and I'm bringing them back from Japan, and I'm bringing them back from Mexico, and I'm bringing them back from Vietnam and every place. We're going to have jobs again. We're going to have jobs. You know, the number one, and I'll probably get it tonight so I can maybe just avoid this question, but the number one question I get, I go around, I see a lot of different places. I use a lot of college auditoriums and all, because the crowd sizes. And a lot of students come up, Mr. Trump, what can you do to help us? We're choking. They're choking with debt. And the biggest thing they're choking with, they then go for 2 years or 4 years to college, and they can't get a job when they get out. And they're good students at good colleges, and they can't get a job. It's one of the most heart-wrenching questions I get. And you see these students, and they're borrowing money from, and you know, to a large extent from the federal government, where it's the only thing, it's just about the only thing the federal government makes money with is student loans. Maybe that's the only thing it shouldn't be making money with, you know, if you think about it. But we're going to do something with it. And, you know, I don't know what's going on with the colleges, but those colleges, they're going up like a skyrocket. You know, things are sort of even. Nobody's going up at the colleges, so somebody's doing something wrong. And one of the reasons the colleges go up is because the federal government pays for the students, but the students can't afford to pay that much. And we got to look a little bit into the colleges. Why are they going up more than anything else? They must be making a fortune. Let's buy a college. You want to buy a college? Don't buy. Don't buy. But there is something going on. But one of the saddest things is when you see these students, and the worst is they're really good. And I mean, I've met so many of them, and I feel so badly for them. But it gives me more inspiration because I'm going to create the jobs. They can't get a job when they graduate. They can't get jobs. And we're going to change that around. When they go through college and they do a good job, and especially for the good students, you know, you have students that work really hard to be good students, and then they can't. They come out and they can't find anything. They don't know what to do. And then they owe money to the federal government and to everybody else. And they've done everything they can to get through that college. We're gonna start winning in this country, and we're gonna start helping them out. We got to help them out. You know, I always talk about the vets, and everybody knows I have a great vet plan. Nobody treated worse than the vets. Illegal immigrants are treated better than our vets. I'm telling you. No, they're being treated better than our vets, and that's going to end. We're going to treat our vets. We're going to treat our vets good. And I put in a policy plan a couple of weeks ago. I was on a great ship, and it was an amazing day on the Wisconsin, and we put on the battleship. I say, can we use this? Look at the ship. You can't build them like this anymore. They sort of didn't give me the answer, because that looks like an awfully, I love renovating. You know, I love buying a building. The foundations are there, the structure's there, the outside is there. Have to replace windows sometimes. If you can keep them, you keep them. Like I'm doing the old post office in Washington. Yeah, that's right. You people would know it. One of the most beautiful buildings in Washington was a disaster for 30 years. Put it out to bid. Think of it, in the Obama administration, Trump got it. Am I a good deal maker? Okay. One of the most sought-after properties in the history of the government services, you know, GSA. And we're now under budget and ahead of schedule. Think of that. And that's what you want in the country. That's what you want in the country. And it's going to be one of the best hotels anywhere in the world. The OPA, we're calling it, if you don't mind, Trump International. I didn't want to keep it the OPA. Somebody said, well, we have to keep the name. The government, they were saying we have to keep the name, the old post office. I said, but it's not a post office, it's a hotel. We have to change it. But I will tell you, and I've dealt with the GSA, and they're really terrific people, that you really have some, you have some great people in government. You really do. If we can be led properly, this country is going to go to a level that you won't even believe. I've been saying over the last 2 months, because I've met so many people like yourselves, and it's really similar. There's so much love in the room, but I've met so many people, and I've seen the genius of these people, and I've been saying, we're not only going to make our country great again, we're going to make it, in my opinion, I really think we have the potential to do it greater than ever before. I really believe it. And we'll make it great, and we'll build it up, and we'll make it rich again. A woman came up to me and said, Mr. Trump, that's a little crass to say rich. We got to make it rich. We're a debtor nation right now. She said, I'm voting for you, Mr. Trump. I love you, but please don't say we're going to make it rich, Mr. Trump. It's crass. I said, I have to say it. I have to be truthful. We're going to save Social Security. We're not going to cut Social Security. We're not going to cut Medicare. Carson wants to cut Medicare. He wants to get rid of Medicare. I say, it's actually a program that works great. Now, you have waste, fraud, abuse in Social Security and Medicare. We'll take care of that. We'll have but you're not going to be cut. You've been paying into your plans. You've been paying into Social Security for years. Now they're coming up to you. It's getting to be that time. I don't want the Social Security. Okay? But it's getting to be that time where you're going to need it. And I think it's unfair. After all these years, they want to cut you. Governor Christie wants to raise the age so that you have to wait another, pretty extended period of time. It's not fair. You've been paying in for years. We're going to take money back from all these countries that have been just absolutely eating our lunch. We're going to have so much money. So I said to the woman, I said, you know what? It may be crass, but I have no choice. We're going to be so rich, and what we're going to do, and you're talking about tremendous money. Don't forget, when you have imbalances of 450 billion, not million, 450 million wouldn't be good, right? How about 450 billion a year? And then they say, oh, that's terrible. I am a free trader. I believe in free trade, but it has to be smart trade. We can't be stupid people, right? So they say, oh, Trump isn't a free trader. He's not, oh, this is terrible. I said, no, I'm a free trader. But when for years we have a trade imbalance with China of over 400 billion every year, that's called dumb trade. We have to be. And then the head of China comes, and poor Obama, oh, it's so sad. He greets him with a state dinner. A state, for what? And he talks about our partner. Well, I want to be a partner too. If I can be a partner where I'm making $400 to $450 billion, I agree. And the guy in China, the head man, good-looking guy, strong as hell. Different system over there. That's like one of these systems you keep pounding each other, and the toughest, smartest guy gets up to the top. We don't do that over here. That's a system, and I don't know if you know how it works. From the time they're in kindergarten, the smartest, the toughest. The smartest, the toughest. But by the time they get up to that little point, that guy is tough. So he's looking at Obama, talking about this wonderful relationship we have. He's building islands, military islands, in the South China Sea. I don't think he got an environmental impact statement. Do you agree? Do you think they went out and said, oh, we have to do our environmental impact statement? No. They just put about 300 excavators out there, and they started digging that ocean and dropping that sand. Now, and by the way, I heard this the other day, and I'll choose two things. I've been saying bomb the oil and keep it. Now, I didn't want to go into Iraq. I should get credit for vision, and I'm more militaristic than anybody other than him. Anybody in this room. No, this guy looks like he looks like a warrior. But I'm more militaristic than anybody in this room. But I want to build that military so strong. But I've been saying, don't go into Iraq. And in 2003 or 4, a delegation came from the White House because they get a lot of publicity for whatever. Even as a developer, Then I do The Apprentice. That was a huge hit. By the way, they wanted to extend me. They came in. Steve Burke, the head of Comcast, an incredible guy, came to my office with executives from NBC, and they want to extend me. And I said, Steve, I want to run for president. He said, no, we want to extend you. And nobody thought I was going to run. Nobody. He said, no. And they announced they're going to extend The Apprentice with me, and that would be season 15 and 16. I mean, it's been a great hit. And I said, no, I don't want to do that. And I just held my breath. You know the famous escalator scene, right? I held my breath. I said to my wife, are you sure I want to be doing this? And I said, let's go. And we went down that escalator, and we stood. You never saw it. It looked like the Academy Awards. The press. I mean, even now, look out tonight. It's so many cameras back there. Look at all those red lights. Every word. No, think of it. Every word. But, it's an amazing thing. So I said to my wife, come on, let's go. And she waved beautifully, on the escalator. I'm waving. And then I went up. I talked about illegal immigration. And little did I know I was hitting a nerve that was so incredible. And I'm telling you, had I not made that speech, and had I not talked about what's happening, because after that you had Jamil killed, who was this wonderful man. You saw his father probably over the last couple of days on television. Just shot, viciously shot for no reason whatsoever. Right off the sidewalk, shot. And then you see Kate in San Francisco, shot by an illegal immigrant. And you see all of the tremendous crime. And all of a sudden, people start, did I take abuse? Rush Limbaugh said, nobody's ever taken more incoming than Trump. I was saying, if this is going to be like this, I don't know if I can last for a year and a half. This is a lot of incoming. I never heard that term with respect to the press or the PR. But Rush Limbaugh said, I've never seen a man take incoming like that. And then he has a news conference and he doubles down and he said, I'm right about it, instead of somebody else. No, it's sort of strange. Because I know how it works. You got to be smart. You got to be tough. Somebody else would have gone up, and other people have said this. I'd like to apologize. Is there any way I can apologize to the people for them? You can't do that when you're right. You're right. You got to stick with it. But I said, at this level of intensity, there's no way any human being can make it for a year. But all of a sudden, people started seeing I was right. And if I didn't bring that up, and if I didn't take all of that unbelievable, harsh, and unfair punishment from the mainstream media, I'll tell you what, we wouldn't even be talking about illegal immigration. We wouldn't be talking about the crime. And don't kid yourself. I don't mention it that often because I'm really good at this stuff, but the jobs that are being taken away from people that are in our country, we're losing tremendous numbers of jobs. So we're going to change that whole system. It's going to be changed. Remember this. You have to give points for vision when you elect somebody. I think I have everybody in this room, I'm pretty sure. Do I have everybody? Everybody? I think so. I mean, I leave these places and they'll say, well, they're there because he's a great entertainer. I'm not here to entertain, folks. I'm not an entertainer. But a lot of I'll read stories like, the people in the room are there because he is a wonderful show and a wonderful entertainer. And that's not the reason you're here. You're here to vote. Please don't waste my time with the entertainment stuff, okay? I'm not an entertainer, believe me. I'm somebody that knows how to get things done. I'm a guy that's won all my life, whether it's The Apprentice or whether it's business or whether it's The Art of the Deal, one of the biggest selling business books of all time. I think the biggest, but I want to say if it's 3 short, I'll get killed if I say but I think it is the biggest selling business book. I mean, that's what I do. We got to win. We can win together. One of the things, vision. I've been saying, right? Take the oil. We shouldn't have been there. Iraq, Iran, fighting their whole lives, everyone. They always fight. They love to fight. We want to rebuild our country, right? Fight. We built a gas station. Did you see the gas station? Cost $43 million. And then it didn't work. Okay? And yet if we want to spend $2 in this country, we don't have any money. If we want to build a school for his children, we don't have any money. If we want to fix up our roads, they're decrepit. Our bridges are falling down. In China, they're building bridges all over the place, okay? So I said, take the oil and keep it. We shouldn't have been in Iraq, but take the oil. Because if you don't, we've spent $2 trillion, thousands of lives, the wounded warriors, and we give some of that oil to the families of the people that have lost their kids. And we give money to wounded warriors. I tell you, they're the most incredible of all people. I deal with them all the time. I deal with them, and I see them. And they have the biggest smile, and they may be missing their legs, they may be missing an arm, they may be worse than that. And their strength is, I think, to me, the strongest of all. I've never seen anything like it. But the problem is, so we go into Iraq and we spend $2 trillion, thousands of lives, wounded warriors, and we got nothing. We got nothing. We don't have anything. Whatever happened to the victor belongs to the spoils. You know, in the old days when we were smart and strong, which we're not anymore, we're stupid people. We're stupid. We're being led by stupid people. And we're stupid because we allow these people to get into office. How does it happen? And I'll tell you, the few people that are demonstrating, that'll end up getting a much bigger sword, but that's okay. But the few people, if they were standing here, most of those people become converted. They agree with me. They agree with me. Because what's not to agree with? What am I saying? I'm saying common sense. I'm saying a little business. I'm saying a lot of heart. Because I want to take care of people that can't. You know, there are going to be people that can't afford anything. You can't let them die. We're Republicans. You can't let them die on the street. Somebody will say, oh, Trump said something that's not Republican. He says he wants to help people that don't have any money. What are we going to do? Let them die on the street? It's not so bad. It's not so much. We'll be able to do it. But we'll get great plans and everything else. But if you think of it, what am I doing? I'm saying we're going to fix our country. Why are liberals or why are Democrats opposed to that? I don't think they are. I really don't. Now, there's some bad people and it doesn't matter. But I don't think they are. And, you know, very interestingly, one of the polls said more people, if I win and Hillary wins, they say more people will come to the polls. In the history of the country, it'll set a record. Just like, if you think of it, just like the 24 and the 23 million people set the record. They said, and it just came out, CNBC thing, that is good. And they say the people that come are going to vote for Trump. They all said that. They said that, the story. Check it out. And we're going to beat Hillary. And I'll tell you the other thing. Yeah, I've got to be tough on the border. And some of the Hispanic maybe won't like it. But they love me. And the ones that are here, thank you. Where's, oh, there's Hispanic. Where did I see that sign over here? Where did I see? I saw a great sign. I'm telling, adios amigos, make America great again. Look at that. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. And you know, the African American vote. So a poll came out recently. Trump gets 25% of the African American. For a Republican, that's unheard of. It's unheard of. And one of these commentators who's like devastated, because a Republican would normally get what, 5 or 6%. What do you think, Steve? Like 5 or 6%. So I have a poll that said, I mean, I don't think these pastors are going to be standing up with too many other candidates. Do you agree with that, Steve? You know, I don't think so. So I have a poll, 25% of the African Americans want Trump. And one of these commentators, and they hate, by the way, they hate that I'm winning. They have such a hard time with the polls. I mean, the one just came out, the Quinnipiac poll, right? And I'm killing everybody. And I'll tell you, Cruz and Rubio are in second place. And they said, they're sort of tied. And they said, Rubio and Cruz are doing great. I said, what about me? And I went up a lot. I went up as much as they did or more. And it's harder when you're high. And I'm beating them by like a lot. And they talk about, they didn't even mention my name until you got to the first. While Trump is winning, the other people are doing very nicely. You know, it's unbelievable. So we're driving the media nuts, okay? We're driving them nuts. They don't know how to handle it. And they're very dishonest, many of them. I only say 70%, but 70% are really dishonest. What's going to happen is, and what did happen, so they mentioned the 25%, and one of these talking heads said, you know, if Trump gets 25% of the African American vote, this election's over. He wins. It's over. You know that. It's true. And why wouldn't I? Think of it. Obama What has he done? What has he done? Think of this, and then we're going to do questions. Obama, think of it. Obama, your African American youth, 51% unemployment, right? Your guys our age, they have an employment that's double or triple what other people have. What the hell has he done for the African Americans? He's done nothing. He's done nothing. I don't think he cares about them. I think he's done nothing. It's all talk. It's all words with this guy. He's an unbelievable divider. I thought he'd be a great cheerleader for the country. That's one thing I thought. I said he'll unify the country, and he's really divided the country. He really has. And we're going to unify the country. And we're going to do amazing. We're going to set records with the African American vote. I mean, honestly, for Steve and the group to come up here, that was such an honor for me tonight. It was such an honor. Such an honor, and we appreciate it. So all of the things that I said are true. And just to finish before we do some questions, if you were with me 2 weeks ago, I was much different. I was talking about China all the time. And I was talking about trade, and I'm telling you all the bad deals and that our companies are all leaving, which is true. And they're moving to Ireland, and they're moving to other places. And we have $2.5 trillion offshore, and we can't bring it back because our tax laws are so bad. And by the way, my tax plan, I'm cutting middle-income families' taxes to the lowest level that they've been in years. Because we have been destroying our middle class, which built this country. And I'm cutting companies' taxes and corporation taxes and small business taxes down to 15%. Right now, it's the highest it's ever been. Right now, we're #1 taxed nation anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the world. And I'm bringing it down to I'm not exactly the lowest, but it will soon. I think we can maybe do that. But I'm bringing it down to one of the least taxed business nations in the world. So the middle class is going to be taken care of. We're seriously simplifying our code, so you don't have to spend your money at H&R Block and spend a lot of the money that you're making doing this complicated code. And we're going to do some things that are going to be amazing. And we're going to have a dynamic economy. And this country is going to be rocking and rolling, and it's going to be something special. This country is going to be something so much more special. It's already special, I have to say, but it's going to be much more special. And it's already great, but I mean, we're talking about really great. And remember this. We have a great country. We have a wonderful country. We love our country. But it's really at the tipping point. It's not going to be there for us much longer. It's not going to be great much longer. It's in big, big trouble. We're not going to let that happen. Okay? All right? So let's now take some questions. Come on. Give me some good ones. Come on. Hello, Dar. Do you have a question? These people did such a good job with my vote. They had so many votes. They had, what do we need, like 5,000 signatures? And you put in 4 or 5 times. How many? 16,000. The people at registration said, we've never seen anything like that. You know, it's nice because with the kind of people I deal with, if they find mistakes, so when you have 15 or 16,000 and you need 5, they're going to have to find a lot of mistakes, right? Thank you very much. So do you have a question to ask? Do you want to make a statement? You did such an amazing...
I just wanted to let you know, Mr. Trump, that the citizens of Virginia and all the Hispanic community that I represent love you, respect you, and are going to vote and support you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. So nice. Okay, let's go. Have a question. Go ahead. Wherever you want. Go ahead. Okay, a young man. Come on, young guy.
So, you're going to build the wall? What's it going to be made out of?
Oh. Hey, that's a good question. Lift him up here. Bring him up here. Come on. Come on. So cute. Come on. Come on up here. Come on up. Come here. This is such a great question. Ready? Are you ready?
What are the walls going to be made of? Hello?
Go ahead. Ask the question.
What are the walls going to be made out of?
That might be the best question I get today. I'll tell you what it's going to be made of. It's going to be made of hardened concrete, and it's going to be made out of rebar and steel. And, you know, it's so easy. That's what I do. I mean, that's what I... You ever see parking plank where they set plank and it goes 90 feet long? You know how long 90 feet? If you're 90 feet up, you don't want to come down. You want to come down very gently. Did you ever see the walls they build now? They're this high and they drive trucks over them, right? They build a ramp and they take trucks with drugs. And we get the drugs and they get the cash. Not good. There's not going to be any trucks driving. So it's going to be made out of concrete, rebar steel. And we're going to set them in nice, heavy foundations. And one of the reasons the wall wasn't built, because a lot of people like the wall, but they couldn't figure out how to do it. And this is hard to believe, but true. Hey, was I right about New Jersey? Was I right? Do you see it all right? Oh, there's another one. I took such heat. And all of a sudden, over the last couple of days, reports start coming out. You know, Trump is right. I saw it. I get hundreds of calls. And now even some of the mainstream has been saying it. So I'm very proud. How many people would have taken that abuse without saying, oh, I'm sorry? Okay. They're all said, apologize. I'm right. There's a lot of hatred going on. We need vigilance. That's where it started. We need vigilance. We can't let this happen. They can't blow up our buildings. They can't cut off our people's heads. They can't do it. Or other people's heads. But they can't do it. Okay, let's have a question. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Trump. We love your tone.
Tone,
yes,
famous word.
That's
tone.
right.
You're right.
In 92, when Ross Perot ran, he said, should lightning strike and I get elected, the first 100, we're not going to wait 100 days to start doing something. We're going to do something day one. What are you going to do day one?
Okay, let me judge, because Ross Perot, who I haven't known much, I know his son, he's a good guy. He made a big mistake. He quit. Then a week later or whatever, he said, oh, I made him. And when he went back, it was over. But he was, he had a certain style. And I studied it very closely. And number one, it's really better to run as a Republican, I will tell you that. And I want to run as a Republican. And I'm leading by so much. The question was asked before, would you ever run as an independent? I don't want to do it. I just want to run and win as a Republican. We're there. We're this close. We're this close. We're going to probably run against a woman who can't win. Her whole life has been corrupt. It's been corrupt. She's not going to win. So in the first 100 days, we're going to knock the hell out of Obamacare. We're going to unsign. The great thing about executive orders, I don't have to go back to Congress. I don't have to go back. I just sit down and I will be unsigning many, maybe not all, maybe there are a couple of good ones. I don't know. I doubt it. But we're going to be unsigning a lot of executive orders, especially his order that basically lets anybody they want just pour into our country. That's going to end. Okay? All right? And just to add, we're going to start immediately working on Social Security, immediately working on Medicare so that we really make it strong. We're going to bring great things back into this country. You're going to be so proud of me. He's got that Trump shirt on. You're going to be so proud of me. Thank you for the question. I appreciate it. You'll be very happy. Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead, ma'am.
Mr. Trump, can you talk about Israel and your relationship with that country and their
Sure.
leader?
Well, I love Israel, and Israel is our real strong supporter if you look at what's going on. And I'll tell you what. And I will say it here. My people say, oh, don't say, but very soon I'm going to Israel, and I'll be meeting with Bibi Netanyahu, who's a great guy. And he asked me to make a commercial during his election run. I made a commercial. I said nice things about him. He's a good man. He's worked very hard. He has absolutely no support from President Obama. Absolutely none. So I will tell you, I am very, very, very pro-Israel. Okay? Okay. Okay, question. How about the young man in the green shirt? Go ahead. Young, strong guy. Go ahead.
Thanks, sir. As a veteran and a small business owner, you got my vote.
Are you a veteran?
Yes, sir.
Wait a minute. You're a veteran? The guy looks like he's 20 years old. Wow.
Is that,
But you're in good shape?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Did
sir.
you have any problems or difficulties?
No, sir. No.
All right, good. So you're a very healthy vet. And we have plenty of healthy vets, too. We have a lot of vets. I don't want to mess around with them, right? Okay, so go ahead.
My question is, what are your plans for the VA? I know there's been a big mess with that past
Right.
year, so what are your plans for turning that
Okay,
around?
so I put in a big plan on the vets, and people are loving it. And as you know, about 3 months ago on a Wednesday, they announced that in the history of the Veterans Administration, which is very corrupt, extremely corrupt, and you have some great doctors in there, by the way. I mean, I'm going to give the good and the bad, but you have administrators that are a disgrace. And the waiting times and the problems. And people are waiting 5 days, 6 days in a waiting room to get in. And in the history of the VA, it's the longest, you saw that 3 months ago, it was the longest wait in the history of the VA. That's over. And I put in a plan that's much more complex than this. But basically, we have doctors that aren't doing well because of Obamacare. We have a lot of people that aren't doing. I have a friend who's a doctor. He's going to be quitting. He's going to be like you. He's going to retire out at a young age. But he's going to be retired. And he said, I have more accountants than I have nurses. He said, it's so complicated. It's so horrible. The paperwork is so terrible. I don't feel like I'm a doctor anymore. So we have doctors that have plenty of open time. We have private and public hospitals all over the place that aren't doing well. And we're going to let those vets, instead of standing in line and dying. By the way, you saw the numbers. People die waiting to see a doctor. They're dying. Hundreds of thousands. I couldn't believe it. The numbers are incredible. You know, you'd think 1, 2. But the numbers are incredible. Thousands of men and women waiting for a doctor, maybe a simple procedure, maybe a pill. They end up dying. So we're not going to have that anymore. The vets, remember, they're our greatest people. They're our greatest people. I wouldn't be here. Most of these people wouldn't even be here. So it's true. Come on, for the vets. It's true. It's true. So we're having a simple plan. You have hospitals across the street they're looking for business, right? Well, look at her. You're not a vet. What do you do? Okay. Oh, no, what do you do? Okay, 1 second. So you have hospitals across the street. You have doctors, right? You're going to get out of there. You're going to see the doctor, see the hospital. We're going to pay for the bill. It's much cheaper, and everyone's going to be happy. It's so much cheaper. So we're going to use that hospital that's looking for some business. We're going to lose it. It could be private. It could be public. We're going to use doctors that are looking for business. We're going to pay the bill. It's going to go quickly. And believe it or not, it's going to be much, much cheaper than what we're doing right now. And what we're doing right now is insulting. Okay? Okay. Go ahead. You're a designer? Oh, I didn't think you were a vet. You didn't look like a vet.
I'm not a vet this time around.
Go ahead.
So I'd like to say that Americans are winners. Americans love winners, and that's what you are. So.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Well, how nice. How nice is that? Thank you, darling. That's so nice.
So my question is, the future of America looks beautiful with you, and understanding the whole thing with trade with China, I'd like to see more made in America labels, apparel. If you look around, all of you are wearing.
That's great. Come on up. Get her up here. She's so nice, so beautiful. Come on, get up here. You work it out. Come on, get up here. So nice. What a nice question. But you know what? What she said is so important. Do you remember the old days when some of us were young and some of us weren't even born when we're talking about? But we used to have a sticker, made in the USA. That meant quality, right? And if it said made in Japan, it was like no good. It was like terrible. Now it's reversed. You don't have it anymore. We had those stickers made in the USA, and that meant super, super quality. I just want her up. I thought she was so fantastic. Come on over. Believe me, if I didn't like the question, folks, she wouldn't be up here. She wouldn't be up here. So nice. Don't worry about that. Don't worry. Come on up. Look at her. She's got to work to get up here. I'll tell you. Secret Service, when you hit number 1, all of a sudden you have a lot of protection. Nobody can get up. Come on up here. Look at this. Say something. Come here. What's your name?
My name is Colette.
Beautiful.
My name is Colette. You're beautiful. And I think he will definitely make America truly beautiful and great. And I design mostly for men. I think guys are at a disadvantage with the fashion world. I think everybody can appreciate that. And so I've been living overseas for a while. What I would really love to see is all of you wearing Made in America labels.
You're great. Thank you. You know, it's a great statement and it's a great question. Because honestly, you don't see it anymore. You don't see it anymore. We're going to be so proud to have that sticker. And let's remember that question. That's a very important question, statement. Made in the USA was so important and was such a sign of quality. You don't even see, first of all, we don't make that much anymore. It's not like it was. Think of it, think of this. I go to Los Angeles recently. I saw ships, the biggest ships you've ever seen, with cars coming in from Japan, pouring out. They're pouring, like going 30 miles an hour, pouring out of these ships. These men, we send them practically nothing. It's a one-sided deal. We can't have that. And speaking of USA, when was the last time you saw a Chevrolet in the middle of Tokyo? I'll bet you they don't have one, right? We make good cars. We make great cars. And now especially, we're doing great. It's got to be fair. Okay, let's have a good question. How about this guy over here with a good head of hair? This guy. Go ahead. Okay.
Mr. Trump,
Yes.
this is a question for, first of all, we love you.
Thank you.
This is a question for President Trump,
Okay.
which is here. How are you going to deal with President Putin?
Okay. Putin, it's a very fair question. Putin cannot stand Obama, like a lot of people. What else is? And, you know, recently I was on 60 Minutes. They interviewed Putin, and separately they interviewed me. We got very high ratings, so I feel he's my stablemate, all right? Putin, and I said this a couple of months ago, when he started bombing, I said, let him bomb. Let him bomb. The problem our country has is we don't even know who we're fighting. We want to fight Assad, bad guy, but we want to fight Assad for rebels that we don't even know. Now, if we fight Assad, we're fighting Russia, we're fighting other countries. Maybe we end up in World War III. Who the hell knows what happens, right? But Assad's bad, but the rebels could be ISIS. We have no idea. A general told me we have no idea who they are. We want to give them billions and billions. And what's going to happen? Let's say they take over Syria. What the hell? We don't know what's going to. It's going to be turmoil. We've got to fight ISIS. And I love that Russia is dropping bombs all over ISIS. I love it. I love it. Okay? I mean, we have a president, he doesn't even know who to fight. How about this? 2 weeks ago, he says, we're sending 50 men, and maybe women, I don't know. I'm surprised he's not more specific. Should have been more specific. But we're sending 50 men over to Syria, Iraq. I don't think he even knows where they're going. Now, why does he have to talk? Why does he have to say it? Why does he have to stand up and say we're sending? Those people have a target. These are our finest. These are our greatest soldiers, right? Why do we have to do that? Why does he have to open his mouth? Why can't he send them and be quiet? Okay? Now he just announced that they're sending another small group over. Today or yesterday, they just announced, we are sending more. So these guys, small numbers. Frankly, I think the numbers are so small that if you're going to do it. Okay? But the numbers are small. I don't even think it's a good PR move, frankly. But we're sending men over to fight. Now, the enemy is not stupid. They are not the JV, and they are not contained. Do we agree? They are looking for these men and women. They are looking for them. What the hell does he have to say it for? You know, I used the word unpredictable. We don't have any unpredictability anymore. General MacArthur, he wouldn't talk. General George Patton, first of all, he wouldn't even be. They would have thrown him out his first year because he was a vicious, violent guy who used foul language. But he was one of our great generals, General George Patton. He was brutal. He couldn't be a general. He couldn't be a general today because he was too crude. But he was a genius. And his men loved him and his men fought for him. But he couldn't be a general. And I watch our general, they're on television. These guys are on television all the time. I don't want my generals on television. I don't want the enemy watching one little word, and you're giving something up. So I did a deal recently. It was interesting, and it was a great success. And they called up my opponent, because that's what it was, and he couldn't stand me. I mean, did I do a number on this guy? And he couldn't stand me, but he said something that was very interesting. He was honest. He told the reporter, Mr. Trump was really tough because he was so damn unpredictable. We couldn't figure out. He was so unpredictable. That's why I won. And I didn't know, was he being nice to me or not? I said, what does that mean? He said, we couldn't figure you out. I said, thank you, because I thought it was a compliment, but I had to be sure, okay? But we have no unpredictability. We have to get smart, and we're going to get smart. And you know, one of the things, and I'm going to leave it at that, but one of the things that did you have a question? I have to say, the pastor has a question. I have to take care of my pastor. But wait 1 second, though. One of the things that you're going to say when you leave this room, this is such an amazing thing that's happening. You're going to say, we were here at a time that really was important because people have come together, but you have to go out and vote. Because, you know, with all of the talk about this group, that group, if Romney could have inspired, he failed. I mean, he failed. Because McCain couldn't have won the first time because it was such a mess. But Romney the second time should have been an easy victory. And Obama was on, say what you want about Obama. He was on Letterman. He was on Leno. He was all over the place, okay? And I'd call up that camp because I'm backing the guy. And I'm saying, when are you going to get on television to Romney and his people? Well, we don't think. I said, just get on television. He's killing you. He's on every night. He was on Letterman. He was on every show, Leno. And Romney didn't do it, so he failed. He let us down. But let me tell you something. If the people in this room who didn't vote, and of all of the other people that would have never voted for Obama, but if they had the incentive to get up and go vote, he would have won. I tell you, Romney would have won the election. But they weren't inspired. But we have to remember that. And I think, hopefully I inspire. Look, I have the biggest crowds that anyone's ever seen. But we have to remember that. Okay, now I'm going to do something that's really not smart. I always like to end on a high note. We're on a high note, right? Really high. I could now say, make America great again. You're all going to go crazy. I leave and I go back home, right? And unlike Hillary, I don't go to sleep. I think about things, right? Hillary goes to sleep. And then you don't see her for 5 days. And she wakes up and she comes, does another event. And Elton John would always say, and I love Elton John. Elton John's a good guy. So Elton John would say, you always want to finish with a big bang. And when they do the encore, do you ever see where he finishes great? And then they say more and more, the place is going crazy. And they go out, they do 1 song, 2 songs, 3 songs. Now people are starting to say, this is getting boring. 4 songs. And after the 4th or 5th song, it's like, oh, let's go home. And people walk, we're at a high. The problem I have is my pastor wants to ask me a question. How can I turn him down? Will you do me a favor, Pastor? Will you make it a nice question so I don't leave here on a low note? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. Trump,
yes.
I want to address this issue of Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter, no matter who kills them. Yeah. And there's been more people killed with black-on-black crime in America than there has been with white people killing.
Right.
Okay?
It's true.
In Philadelphia.
By the way, it's true. It's true.
In Philadelphia.
It's a tremendous problem.
In Philadelphia from 2007 to 2015, over 3,000 black people were shot dead by black people.
Yeah, no, it's a tremendous
And my
problem.
question is, where was Black Lives Matter?
Yeah, that's true.
They weren't around. My question is,
so true, by the way.
my question is, will you come to Philadelphia and address the black community on what we're going to do about stopping the crime in the black community and black-on-black crime in black community and crime in our schools?
I would do that.
Will
You know,
do
I
that?
went to school. I went to the Wharton School of Finance in Philadelphia. I know Philadelphia well. He is a highly respected, great man in Philadelphia. And the answer is yes. Okay? All right? Yes. I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you all. You are spectacular people. Doing this is actually easy. Getting here wasn't so easy, but there's such love in this room. We are going to make America great again, better than ever before. I love you. I love you. Thank you. Thank you.